Welcome back to Advent Day number 13, and today we're going to be talking about Jesus' birth. This is it. This is the big moment. This is the moment that everything has been pointing to. The Messiah is born. But the way it happens is pretty shocking. The King of Kings is born in a barn, and nobody important is there to witness it. Reading Luke 2, 6-7. While they were there, the time came for the baby to be born, and she gave birth to her firstborn, a son. She wrapped him in cloth and placed him in a manger because there was no guest room available to them. Those two verses say a lot more than you might think when you initially read them. Firstly, there was no room for them in the inn. Let's unpack a few things here. First and foremost, we know that Joseph is going back to his hometown. Most likely, Joseph has relatives there. It would be much more customary in that day and age for you to go and stay with your relatives, right? And this brings us back to the impact that Joseph's choice in keeping Mary as his betrothed is having. Even his own relatives are not giving Mary and Joseph a place to stay, so they go to the inn. Now, as we just read, the inn is full. There are no rooms. Now, this actually makes sense because there's a gigantic census and a lot of people are returning to the town of Bethlehem, and Bethlehem is a tiny town. There's probably only one inn in the entire place. So the fact that there were no rooms available is not surprising. So instead, they stay in a barn. Now, we've all seen the nativity scene. Mary and Joseph are sitting in this nice, manicured stable, and Jesus is put down in this manger, which is nice, with straw and a blanket and all those type of things. But the reality is that it did not look like that at all. As a matter of fact, in this region of the world, most likely these stables would not have even been in a wooden building. To keep animals warm at night, you would build stables into the ground or into like a cave, if you will. So Mary and Joseph are not in this nice manicured stable with straw and all this stuff. They're in a dark, wet, damp cave. And after Jesus was born, he was laid in a manger. Now forget the nativity scene. The manger is a place where cows eat. This manger would have been full of cow slop, riddled with disgusting diseases, and totally not an ideal environment to lay a baby. But Mary had no choice. The point that I'm trying to make here is that Jesus being born in a stable and being laid in a manger is totally not ideal. This is the exact opposite way that we would expect the Messiah to enter the world. And the next part of the story is who Jesus' first guests are. You see, in that culture, the more important the baby was who was born, the more high class the guests would be who would come to see the baby. If you had a baby prince being born, for example, you would have high-powered officials, rulers from other nations, all coming together to be the first guests of the baby's birth. Now, there were some wise men who did visit Jesus, but that would have been months or even years after Jesus was born. Jesus' first guests were actually shepherds. Luke 2, 8-20 outlines the story of how angels came to shepherds who were in a field nearby and told them that the Messiah had just been born and to go see him. And this is very significant. Of all the different professions throughout ancient Israel, a shepherd would have been considered the lowest. So quite literally, having shepherds be the first guests to see your baby would have almost been considered insulting. But that's all part of God's plan. He did not send his son into this world so that he could gain a better reputation, so that he could be served. He sent his son into this world to die for us. It's the least self-centered mission possible, and it all started with his birth, which is the most humble way for a king to be born. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Just a quick reminder for you, if you want to take learning the Bible seriously, on January 1st, we're going to be launching the Learn the Bible in a Year segment of this podcast. The Learn the Bible in a Year will have daily podcast episode uploads that will give an overview of the daily reading so that you get through the entire Bible in 1 year. There's also a free workbook of Learn the Bible in the Year that comes with interactive questions for you daily. You can check the link in the description of this video to pick up that workbook, but mark your calendars, January 1, we are starting Learn the Bible in a Year. I look forward to seeing you there.